God, so much has changed in 20 years.
Alright, gonna pick up the pokey key here is smbai, and assuming that he has kept track of everything, he does know that he can just piece right on out and not use that for its intended purpose. Warken has already made his way to the end of Myers. He already had full cleared everything else, so he just needs to put 2 arrows into the eyeball and collect his final pendant, which unfortunately we know will not really be particularly important.
So since he skipped that key door, he cannot be punished by skipping the big key chest. No, sorry, the big chest, right?
He does have 1 key left, so yeah, I think... gosh, I always forget how this works. Theoretically, it's possible for there to be... Well, okay, it's moot. He's totally fine. He's in finish mode now. Trying to like process the key logic in my head at the same time is just like following along both runners. Is Warken is now heading over to Palace of Darkness, so he will complete those dungeons. Might have mistaken this for an all dungeon seed, or might have thought that Vitreous, having 1 item left, he just kind of wanted to hedge without realizing that he was already in go mode.
So, worst case scenario, we have a small key on the big key chest and a small key on the big chest. And if that happens, skipping the big chest means that you are out of keys, because there were 2 at the very beginning of the dungeon, and there's only 4 keys in here. So yes, he could have been locked out.
Yep, that makes sense. That all checks out. So yeah, he got pretty fortunate there with the Crystal Roller Room chest having the last key there. He was able to just finish up the dungeon, and now he's able to finish up Trinex very cleanly. No problems with the execution on that fight. Did allow some ice to go down on the ground, but did not stop him from getting that quick kill. So he collects a map, and more importantly, he will be heading to Ganon's Tower. What's going to happen there, Kemps?
There are 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower. Give us your guesses about what number it is.
It's going to be a pretty short walk, so you better get those guesses in pretty quickly, as he will be at Ganon's Tower before too long. We'll see where it ends up being. What do you think, Kemps?
Mine, I always guess 17. If he goes the 2 left chests and then the 2 right chests and then immediate full left, that is the last chest behind Armos.
Okay. I'm gonna guess more like 11. I'm feeling like 11 today. It feels like a good number.
That'll be in the randomizer room, assuming the route I just described.
Alright, well, awesome. Smbai is gonna be walking into the door of Ganon's Tower, and he's gonna be beginning with that right side, as we've discussed. What will we find here? A key. A piece of heart. And we are continuing right. Slight adjustment to that block there, but now he's on his way. Oh my god. He's doing the tile room play. I'm so happy. I'm just laughing here, dude. This is so good.
He doesn't trust the seed as far as he can throw it, and he can't throw it at all because it's like a concept, not a thing.
Oh my gosh, he's just opting to dance around. He does have access to the Cane of Burna, but only single magic, so it'd be a little bit of a lengthy use of that thing. So he takes out the Wellmaster. He gets 50 rupees for his trouble. A little bit underwhelming, but he just moves on. He's all business right now. I think that was worth the price of admission right there.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, nearly getting caught by Wellmaster. But everything's okay. He's running pretty low on magic, but he seems to be confident knowing what he's doing, so should be alright, except that block didn't quite land on the mark, but that's alright. He's still fine. Here we go. The 10 bomb drop. 3 bombs. Piece of heart.
And he opened the whole chest before anything else.
Yeah, it's not very often that you see that. He will collect this extra small key before he mirrors back a pretty good one to pick up in case you don't find your other keys earlier on. That one's expected in the logic, so good to pick it up. He'll go ahead and take this one off of Bob's torch as well, so right now we're on 8.
Yep.
Yep. So that puts 11 inside the Stealthverse room here, and 17 would... I think it would be around the Randomizer room.
Well, it's 9, 10, 11, 12 is here.
He's hard, bringing him up to 18. A bomb upgrade, a small key. He's got quite a few of those now. Just go ahead and killing the Stealthverses. He believes that he'll have to continue on, and he does. So the 12th chest contains half magic. Alright, Warken picked up the big key in pod, and we'll be finishing up that dungeon. But smbai, meanwhile, is continuing to work through Ganon's Tower up to 18 hearts, picking up a red potion as well for number 13, so... Whew.
Seed is looking out for him. It knew that, it was just thinking, oh, I know I've been mean to you, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Here, have another potion. You need a 4th, right?
I feel like at this point it's almost like a challenge. Like, I dare you to die again and find some way to pull that off. Like, that would be truly impressive if he did. I doubt he's going to try for that achievement, but we'll see. Number 14, arrow upgrade. Throw an extra bomb off to the side, possibly a little bit tired of the shenanigans here. Picking up red mail from 15, red shield from 16, a map, and a mushroom. So both of us were wrong. It was neither 11 nor 17. We're up to 18 now, with only 4 chests left.
I think you might be right. The seed is daring them to die to Ganon with that, red tunic.
smbai unfortunately getting bonked by the beetle directly into the pit, but that's pretty whatever. Just makes the run a second time. King Helmet down for Warken. He is still just he's gonna make mincemeat of these remaining dungeons, but unfortunately he's quite far behind as a result of just taking that extra time to defeat both Argus and Vitreous. Bobby just didn't have it either.
I think he just lost the time he gained from changing arrows to reduce lag by needing to go back into the menu to change arrows again.
Alright, Isomer's down. It has to be in one of these chests. Which one is it? Number 20, bombs. Number 21, 100 rupees.
Who is it? 22.
Magical number 22. That's incredible.
Where are you going, man?
He had a brief moment of thinking like, oh man, I need to go collect another key or something like that, but not quite.
I think he was considering memeing for the big chest.
Incredibly, no one actually guessed 22 today. The meanest that a runner was, sorry, that a chatter was this just number 14, so that's a little bit surprising. But in any case, smbai will now be heading up the actual tower and will be finishing up, hopefully within the next 7 minutes or so. That is to say, you know, from his perspective, hopefully. Warken might be hoping for, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 Ganon falls or something.
As a unit of measurement, we're quite a few Ganon falls away from smbai losing this.
Yeah, basically what you are hoping to see from Warken right now, because a win's pretty unlikely, but it'll be nice to see him just, you know, finish out strong, have good execution on these remaining boss fights and dungeons, and just, you know, kind of do well for himself. But unfortunately, victory most likely out of reach at this point. Good execution in room 1 of the gauntlet by smbai. Room 2 being slightly more trolly, but he is able to get through that. We'll see how this room 3 goes. This one's always pretty annoying. He fires a silver arrow, creating some lag. Doesn't get the dash he wants to get. Misses Bazazek, but whips out the fire rod to make some toast out of him the second time. Ow. Very nice execution in that last room, and he'll go ahead and equip his powder and get a health refill for his 18 hearts that he has.
There's not infinite magic here, man. I know you have half magic, but
well, he manages to come out.
You have some lamps to light.
Making good use of the Cane of Samari to take out that first Wizrobe room. Dash across the bridge, and he'll get the second Wizrobe room as well. He almost gets the line up on that Samaria block to kill those 3. Misses that fourth one yet again. So getting a little bit trolled by those Wizrobes. Just not quite the flawless execution that he wanted, but he will continue on into the lamp room where, as you mentioned, he's a little bit shy on magic.
There is magic in the pot to the south there that he can use if he wants.
Yeah, I also just noticed he has a blue pot, so he's pretty fine. He'll go ahead and pick up this full refill here. Warken is opening up Turtle Rock right now, and he'll begin work on that dungeon while smbai is coming to the end of his Gan's Tower sojourn, and will even go ahead and open these chests and just see if he can pick up a gold sword, maybe.
Gold sword's the only thing at this point that will make Ganon faster, right? Or safer? Oh no, if he gets a cloak, that would be a big deal as well.
That's true, that would make it slightly nicer. Definitely there's nothing that theoretically makes the fight faster in terms of if he's able to pull off optimal execution, even with Tempered, he can get a 2-cycle clear of the first 2 phases. But he, of course, might not be totally comfortable in that, so it might be easier for him to pick up the gold sword if that's available. A little bit of fun time with Moldorm 2 here, but able to stay on the platform, which is really the thing that matters. Just needs to get one more poke in there. There it is. And he opts to place a bomb coincidentally on top of that last chest there. for no specific reason, and he will be continuing on to the end here. With he decided that he is happy with the gear that he has. Alright, now for everyone's favorite wizard, Aghanim. Whew. That was not a very nice position. Everything was just very inconvenient there.
It looks like it was going to be a double.
I think so far he's actually just only gotten 2 total. These positions have not been very kind to him, and the spins are just not quite working out for him. Alright, does get a double there with recovery after a blue ball. Kind of gives him a little trouble there, and there's another double. He is done with Aghanim 2, and we will be heading into Ganon with 11.5 hearts, red mail, at least 1 blue potion, tempered sword, and silver arrows. You think that's enough?
No matter what equipment he has, nothing makes him immune from a Ganon fall.
That's true. Unless he can hover, and happens to be prescient enough to hover before falling. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Unleashing the spins onto Ganon and just getting in those hits as much as you can. Each spin with the Tempered Sword does the effect of 2 Tempered Sword slashes, and you need 12 total slashes per phase. Oh, he could actually even have gotten into a position above Ganon as the second phase started to get a few more spins in and probably finish it up immediately. Didn't quite pull that off, though. He is down to 5.5 hearts, but, oh, 3.5 hearts.
He has a fairy.
Oh, he has a fairy on top of the blue potion. Oh, and a red potion, so he's just gonna drink that. Yeah, so he should be good. Phase 3 begins. Kind of maybe taking out his frustration for this seed on Ganon with some extra slashes when he has the opportunity. Did you find the arrows? Yeah, as it happens, we did find the arrows. Ooh, okay, taking a little bit of a hit from the fire bat, but that's not a big deal. Manages not to fall off, and he will be totally fine. Just pumping silvers into the pig. Ooh, very nearly getting a triple there, but only pulls off the double. 1 more arrow to go, and there it is.
There we go.
GG to smbai. He will be victorious here tonight. Just needs to walk through the door, and he will claim victory over KwehstopherWarken and go to a record of 1-1 in this Swiss stage.
Yes, GG to smbai. Let's see if we can get him in here.
In the meantime, KwehstopherWarken, still working on Turtle Rock, will be heading into his Trinex fight momentarily. And then he'll have a nice, enjoyable Ganon's Tower ahead of him, as he will need to clear dang near everything. He will probably not do Tile Room, so I would be expecting to see a 21 from him instead of 22. Which, of course, even if smbai had skipped that chest, it wouldn't have changed the winner of our chat minigame anyway. Ouch.
Warken did not go to the safety Oh, he didn't go to either of the safety doors. That's a severe ouch.
Yeah. Whew. And he's realizing it as he respawns all the way back at the beginning of the dungeon. And if he does have the speedracing.tv chat open, he will also know that smbai has finished the race. So possible that might, kind of sap his will to finish up here. Is unlike his last week results, this is a bit more lopsided, unfortunately. I think not as lopsided as far as like his performance relative to his opponent, but just unfortunately that the few routing choices there that kind of put him significantly behind leave him here still working on Turtle Rock while his opponent has finished already.
Small routing decisions turn into big differences.
We do have smbai expressing interest in joining in for an interview. We're just going to get that sorted out momentarily. But let's keep our eyes on the right side of the screen as Warken is making his second trip through Turtle Rock. Hopefully this one to be better than the first one. Really is, like, his execution's been pretty fine just about everywhere. And it was just really on Trinex where he just unfortunately kind of got a little bit nibbled by the large turtle creature thing. Alright, we are joined by our victorious runner tonight, smbai. smbai, congrats on the win, and, kind of, let's just start by just saying, kind of share with us what your thoughts were about that seed. I'm going to interrupt you real quick because nothing is coming through your mic on our side.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all.
Sorry, had my mic muted. I was gonna say, it was a pretty nice seed overall. Besides Bo and Kane both being in Swamp, I think what flustered me the most was getting Big Key number 22 in Gamma's Tower.
Yeah, that was an event which occurred. I guess it would not have been 22 if you had not opted to go for Tile Room on your first trip through. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, is that a thing you do normally, or is that kind of just like, I feel like this seed is that kind of seed?
No, I generally go and do Tile Room first, if, I get a key. The thing about it is that it takes, 30 seconds to do? And if it's there, the amount of time that you save between getting it right away and, going and doing it last is a heck of a lot more than the time lost if it's not there, if you do it.
Interesting.
You're looking at, 3 to 5 minutes to do the rest of the basement before Tile Room, as opposed to 30 seconds if it's there.
That's right. So that's an interesting play. It's kind of a hedge play against make sure that you're not going to get ruined by that. Would you say that's kind of your approach for the game overall, is just kind of try to make sure that you're cutting yourself off from having like that huge time loss, or do you more look to kind of just make a gamble here or there, but not in kind of those specific situations?
Nah, I just like taking gambles.
Speaking of gambles, Pendant Mire. You just really didn't want to go in there.
Pendant Mire. Yeah, no. At one point, I knew that flippers were in there, but I still decided to fake flipper over to ice in case Bo and or Kane were in there, so that I could just skip Mire altogether.
Unfortunately, the seed did not really agree with your plans there. That was an interesting sequence of progression. Actually, both you and your opponent did a very similar thing in that regard. Neither of you wanted to go to Pendant Mire. You absolutely wanted to avoid it. You ended up doing ice before going there, whereas KwehstopherWarken chose to go to Pendant Mire before doing ice. But yeah, an interesting sequence of events there. I guess one thing I'm curious about is, did you do any like scouting of your opponent, or do you customarily do any like scouting of your opponent prior to racing them?
The biggest thing that I do is just check some of their times on SRL, and that's about it. I did raid him like yesterday or the day before.
Oh,
and
nice.
I saw what his time was at that point. So I kind of sort of had an idea.
I mean, you can be honest. Did you feel that you had a very good chance to win, or did you feel that it was going to be a pretty tough race?
No, I had a good feeling I would win this one. Unless I made like some really stupid mistakes.
Alright, we do have KwehstopherWarken working his way. Yeah, there we go.
That's definitely what he's doing.
Through Ganon's tower, and is in the Stelvus room. I think he actually did not continue his dive on right side despite getting a key there, although I do admit to looking away slightly, so he will be...
That is what happened, yeah.
Alright. Well, that'll just mean he'll get his big key about 5 chests earlier, as he also did not opt for the tile room play.
He's gonna get it on 17, actually.
Oh man, well you get to be right once, Keps.
You know, it was funny with Mire, because after I went into it, I was all ready to just go and finish it. Just on the off chance that Bo was at Ped. But then I realized that I didn't have Red Cane, so that kind of shut down that idea.
Yeah, there was the brief moment where you were walking back there, and I do believe Vitreous had the other item, although I wasn't watching super closely. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, fortunately, it turned out to be unnecessary. Actually, Warken did end up clearing both Swamp and Mire, which is something I'm very much looking forward to asking about. I think he did not necessarily realize that he was in go mode.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because Swamp gave us go mode.
Yeah, but in any case, by that time the lead was fairly well established, so that certainly wasn't the game-losing play or anything like that. Picking up his... I've actually never seen this version of this sprite with the red mail. That's pretty good. The gold ball and chain guard. I really like that.
Dude, the gold ball and chain guard does appear somewhere in this game, right?
Yeah, it does in Aghanim's tower as a ball and chain.
Wow, I've never seen a runner fall down these holes, and right just now, both you and KwehstopherWarken have.
He
I
also
can't believe I fell in that hole. I stopped too early.
Yeah, dude, this room is totally free until the moment you stop thinking about it for like a fraction of a second, and suddenly it's not free. But continuing on his way through Ganon's tower, he is approaching Isormos now, and will be able to collect that big key and finish up. He's gonna go ahead and powder the anti-fairy there. That was once Bob. Simbai, I'll throw another kind of question at you, since I know that your questionnaire response mentioned that you've played a lot of different modes of Randomizer, and you really like all sorts of different ones, including stuff like one-hit KO. But I'm going to keep the question more kind of general. As far as this particular mode goes, the V29 randomized swords, how have you liked this? What have you thought about it relative to like the other modes you've played and the other versions you've played? What are your feelings about that?
Well, I think it's pretty fantastic. You know, I started with standard, then they introduced open mode, and standard kind of just fell away and nobody did it anymore. But this kind of brings the love back to standard mode. I think it's pretty nice. I like it.
You've been playing Randomizer for quite a long time, right?
Yes, since what was it, version 17 or 18 or something? I don't remember what. Back when unbeatable seeds were aplenty.
Yeah, fortunately there's soft blockable seeds, and seeds that you literally can't complete are significantly more rare. As far as I know, it's impossible to generate a seed that's not completable at this point. But soft blocks, I think the last one I even remember is many, many, many months ago. There certainly are none that I'm aware of in this version.
I thought I saw something somewhere. I could be wrong, but I thought that there was somebody that did get keylocked somewhere. Don't quote me on that, but...
Yeah, I'm not aware of any, so... the best part, of course, about the randomizer, even in situations where that occurs, is developers are pretty responsive to make sure that those get taken care of and fixed. And, when necessary, the, tiny number of times that a tournament race has been affected, a rematch has occurred, to make sure that it's fair for everyone. In the meantime, we've got working through... I gotta stop using that expression. First time was an accident, but I played it off. Now it's just kind of like, okay, stop me.
What, you don't like making puns, Bulletin? Even
like,
unintentional ones?
I don't like making unintentional puns that are the same over and over. I want to make good, new, fresh ones. Progressing. Navigating the gauntlet. Exploring. Yeah, there we go. He is,
He's doing the thing.
Yeah, he did the thing. The thing has been done. He is on to Landmos 2. He'll certainly be hoping for a slightly better one than Smbai ended up having. Getting trolled a little bit on those fire rod shots, whereas Warken missing those silver arrows himself, so he's gonna have a few more cycles as well. There they go. Oh, didn't quite get the lineup on that Samaria block. Gets it the second time, though. And the 3 Wizrobes are defeated. Now we'll see how he does on that second Wizrobe room. Oh, almost perfect.
Yep. Didn't turn. I mean, I've definitely done exactly that before.
Turning before you swing your sword is the hardest thing in the world. We see on the left side that Smbai has discovered the location of the final sword upgrade in the Witch's Hut.
Mushroom was in Ganon's tower, right?
I think that's where we saw it.
It very much was.
Perfect. Worken, having the Temperate Sword and Silver, says, I have no need to check these remaining chests, so he's not going to bother. What? What? What?
What? Did he run into the corner?
He must have? Yeah, he must have dashed onto the conveyor and then it shifted him left into the wall. That's hilarious. I've never seen that before. I've never tried to dash from that left edge. Ouch. Oh. So Worken making a kind of cardinal mistake on Moldorm 2, which is to walk in with your side facing towards him, and unfortunately while he was trying to set up his spin, Moldorm blindsided him. I know a lot of people like to refer to this boss as Trolldorm, but to be totally honest, it is pretty much under your control. So it is unfortunately the case that most of the time if you fall, it's your own fault. Although it is always fun to blame the boss.
Are you telling our runners to get good, Villagen? Because that's what I heard.
I believe that everybody has within them the capability to be good. They just need to grab hold of it. Or something. Anyway, Agatu, yeah, this thing. The first round not going so well for Worken either. He's not much liking these positions any more than smbai did.
He's getting slightly more, it looks like.
Man, those were rough patterns.
Yeah, that's for sure. He did manage to get 2 hits on that phase, but the third one actually, which would have been shot by the main body of Aga, just got absorbed by the wall because of the knockback. Looks like he should just have 1 hit to go though, and there it is. So Aga's done for him with 5 hearts remaining, and I believe at least 1 potion left. And possibly a fairy, since he does have that bug net. Alright, here we go with the Ganon fight for Worken. He steps into the pyramid at 2 hours and 20 minutes. Hopefully he'll be done before 2 hours and 24 minutes. That'd be a pretty good time for a Ganon fight, even allowing for a little bit of spaghetti. But right now he's working on this phase 1, gets a whole bunch of hits in, down to 3 hearts. But hey look, there's another blue potion and a red potion, which he'll go ahead and drink.
He did not pick up the extra potion in Ganon's tower, which, I mean, is fine.
Does not opt to try for any spin strats from the top. He is just going to continue slashing at Ganon from below. Needs to take 1 more phase as a result. This is a little bit of an awkward position, really. So we go ahead and bust out the hook shot, try to use that to use invulnerability frames through these fire bats. Alright, that should be plenty of hits. You should be able to progress on to phase 3 here. Oh boy, that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of lag.
Yep, but honestly, might even help him, just give him some opportunity to kind of move around while thinking here. He does get his next hit before Ganon throws out a fire bat, so now he should be a little more under control for the rest of this fight. There's that last hit for phase 3, so here we go.
He has a blue potion. He's got to use it.
Oh, sacrificing Torch Glitch. He just goes ahead and chases Ganon around. This is fine. He has those silver arrows. He should be pretty okay. Again, just needs to get the hits in before eating a fire bat. Oh, but he doesn't get a silver in there and has to dodge that one as well. He's not drinking the potion. He wants to finish this. This is this is an interesting play. There's a double. There's the third one. Oh no. And he does not want to unpause that menu because he knows what's coming. I'm gonna go ahead and collect the fairy from this tree. Just try to restore some of his health without having to use that potion. I'm just kidding, because he's gonna go ahead and mirror and probably flute over to the mushroom. Sorry, to the witch. That lady.
I mean, he might turn into mushroom here, and if he does, he gets gold sword for this fight.
He has a lot of bottles, so he's gonna go ahead and fill those up. He picked up a green potion, he's gonna quaff it immediately, refill that magic, and get another blue, so he is fine. He will never, ever run out of potions again here. I do like the placement of the mirror portal here. He's going to be able to get back into it immediately, and now he's back right in front of the pyramid to continue back into the Ganon fight.
Wanted to make sure he did not have sword beams for Ganon.
That's actually not a bad play. Sword beam's really kind of an annoyance on some of these fights. You really don't want those to get in the way. They just cause lag and just really are terrifically annoying. Alright, here we go. He's gonna get a different set of patterns of teleports and Ganon movement this time. So it might give him something nice, like this top corner position. Oh, but he didn't get enough hits on the first two positions there, so he didn't actually get to phase 2, which means he didn't get to take advantage of that for a very quick phase 2. Okay, I believe that should be enough hits for phase. Yep, there it is.
Yep, we're in phase 3.
Just needs those 4 hits to be able to get the ground knocked down. That's number 3. That's number 4. And now here we go again with some silver arrows. Takes a hit, he's down to 3 health again. Ooh, okay, that was a fire bat that he managed to dodge. 1 silver.
2 silver.
There's a few more here. That's 3. Oh, no.
That's another fall.
Oh, poor Warken. You really hate to see that, especially at the end of a seed like this. It's already been, you know, for both runners, it's already been long enough. Like, if you're working right now, you just want to be done with this. And taking 2 falls to Ganon is just, like, prolonging the agony, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's continuing on. He's not forfeiting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for not even in a seed that you're not playing well in, or even a seed where you're kind of disappointed in something that you've done, if you've fallen again or whatever, there's something to be said for still finishing it out. If you're able to kind of view it as more of like a moral victory, then it is a pretty good feeling. And like, even though you're gonna be like, oh, I can't believe I played that bad, you'll at least feel like you stuck it out and kind of had a minor like moral victory of just not rage quitting, basically.
That looks like 12, definitely. So he should be good for this phase.
Yeah, running his magic down there, that will hopefully encourage him to actually use that blue pot this time around. Of course, not that that's been the actual problem for him in any regard, but... Although I guess theoretically, if he just face tanked those fire bats, he probably would have been fine as well.
As I'd say, and if Ganon ever stops warping, he'll be fine too.
Yeah, Ganon being a little bit teleport happy, but he is able to get his first silver arrow in. Again, it's 4 required. He has been able to get as far as 3. He's just getting unlucky on that last little bit and taking a fire bat each time so far. This should be the one, though. This is the lucky 3rd try. Okay, gets fire batted, but puts number 2 into the pig. There it is. That's 3. That's 4. KwehstopherWarken is done. He just needs to walk into the door, and he will complete his race. Unfortunately, not victorious today, but he is able to overcome the evil Ganon and complete his quest and save the kingdom. And a winner is him. So we'll see if Warken is in the mood to join us for a quick chat. Obviously, it's pretty late for everyone, and also he just had kind of a rough time on Ganon. Might not super be in the mood, but if he is, we'll certainly be happy to have a quick chat with him and find out his thoughts. In the meantime, Kemps, let's talk back through the scene. We started with kind of it's kind of weird. Like there was this weird progression at the beginning, and it seemed like it didn't really make a lot of sense for a while.
Like we got very early Fire Rod, pretty early Ice Rod. The first time that we got really anything was in Death Mountain, which had our first sword. It had
Moon
oh wait, no,
there.
that's not right. The mitts were all at the same time, which was a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. Both of those coming from Sahasrah's closet, and then afterwards picking up the Moon Pearl and sword. But it really wasn't until the runners ended up at Desert that they found the hammer, and that started kind of the chain of awkwardness, because eventually they had to get to Skull to get their Quake medallions so that they could take their flute from earlier and head over to Mire and get their flippers, which were required for Swamp for Go mode. So just a very unusual series of circumstances there.
Unfortunate events, I think, is the right phrase here. Series of unfortunate events. But yeah, just another of those seeds that Pendant Mires to play. And we're joined by KwehstopherWarken. How you feeling, man?
I am expletive deleted.
Indeed.
Understandable. I don't want to dwell too much on that last little bit of Ganon shenanery, because honestly, the race was over at that point. That's just frustrating
by
crap.
KwehstopherWarken.
But
how you feeling, man?
I'm curious about your thoughts on the earlier parts of the seed.
Expletive deleted.
What
Indeed.
What did you think about the seed overall? What did you think about the fact of flippers and pendant mire being a required progression?
That was kind of. I was running out of places to check at that point. I mean, I was in mire because I had to be. I mean, I had run out of places to check at that point. At that point, I was kind of hoping that I was still in the race at that point.
Did you realize or not realize you were in go mode when you got that bow?
I knew I was in go mode when I had the bow. I just at that point I was processing what can I complete. Because I just needed to. I knew I was in go mode, and I'm just like, what can I finish? Start going.
I see. Interesting. So the basically kind of almost like a blind spot, or not a blind spot, but kind of like tunnel vision, where you ended up like, I need to go finish things. There are things to finish, and Swamp was available and Mire was available, and you ended up finishing them, and they were both pendants, unfortunately. You know, I guess I'll ask kind of like, what's your overall experience level with Randomizer, and like, you know, have you found that that's been a challenge for you to deal with, trying to figure out like, I am in go mode, these are the actual things I need to do, kind of, you know, that kind of thing?
I've been watching for a long period of time. I haven't played as much as I probably should have. Well, I knew I was in go mode once I left Swamp. I just wasn't sure what else was there. It took me a minute because it's kind of late. My brain's starting to shut down. So I guess it kind of took me a minute. I knew I was in go mode once I finished Swamp, and brain shutting down. So, but I thought Mire was a crystal dungeon. That's why I went back there.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's pretty understandable. Both the fact that it's really late, it's easy to get messed up when it's late, and also, yeah, the reason I asked that question is I know that one of my biggest difficulties when I learned Randomizer, as I went through like the months of playing Seeds, was just recognizing that I was in go mode, and then recognizing this is the actual set of things you need to do. But overall, your routing, notwithstanding the fact that you know, Skull had the medallion required for Pendant Mire that you had to go to for progression, your routing was pretty solid. You guys followed a very similar path in a lot of respects. So it really wasn't until you took a little while to get back to the Skull clear to get your Quake medallion, and you took a little while to get to Pendant Mire, obviously, and then, you know, just clearing those 2 extra dungeons. Those were really kind of the differences. Definitely, of course, you know, Ganon. We don't even need to talk about that. I'm sure on like a better night, if it's not like 4:30 a.m. or whatever, you will be fine on Ganon next time.
Yeah, that first fall to Ganon was just pure shenanigans. And I say shenanigans because expletive deleted, expletive deleted, expletive deleted.
That's completely fair.
At what point did you go back to Skullwoods?
The first time I dipped Skull Woods, I was, for some stupid reason, I had it marked as a pendant dungeon. So I dipped in there, got the first item or so to the point where I had the front half cleared, and I'm like, okay, this is a wash, I'm out. And then I waited till I had a few more hearts, a better sword, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going back in, and I recheck my map, and I'm like, crap, this is a crystal dungeon. And that's when I went back. Where did you get your did you get your third sword off of Sahashala?
I sure did.
Okay, so I was wondering, did you find a gold sword or no?
I did after I beat Ganon.
Oh, you went back and where was it?
It was that mushroom.
Where was Mushroom?
in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, you had mushroom.
That tells you how awake I am, or how much I was paying attention in Ganon's Tower.
Of course, fortunately, there's nothing you need by that point, so really any item that you got in Ganon's Tower is pretty unnecessary. But yeah, overall, it was a ton of fun to commentate both of your guys' race. Definitely encourage you guys to watch back and, obviously see how your play compared to your opponent, and, take away whatever you can take away from that play. Obviously, sometimes there's nothing to take away. Sometimes you just get ruined because it's pendant mire and everything's over. But, always just a good plan to do for everyone participating in a race.
I hope people like my bee on Moth.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Fighter sword moth with a bee.
Oh, geez, you did Fighter Sword Mothula?
Well, I mean, I had a bee and I had a hammer, but I had a red potion.
My hat's off to you, sir. You have bigger melons than I do.
Yeah, and that was part of definitely what kind of allowed him to gain a lead going into that Mire play, was just having that Quake medallion. Kemps, you got any more questions for our runners, or shall we let them get to bed?
Yeah, I think bed's a good idea for everyone else at this point. I'll be up for a little bit longer.
Yes, it is definitely nappy time.
If you've enjoyed what you've been seeing, please give our runners a follow. They are putting themselves out there for our entertainment, and that's not necessarily an easy thing to do. Our tracker has been Hoot42Baker. I have been D2 Kemps.
I've been Voligen. And thank you again to our two runners, smbai and KwehstopherWarken. Congrats to smbai on the win. Good luck next week to both of you, of course.
Thank you.
Work!
GG.
GG to you.
And have a good night.